Do you think we should get rid of the CBC?
No,
she says we should just get rid of the CBC. Okay,
that guy's wrong.
Got some more breaking news here. It's going to be every single day. Welcome back. My name's David. You guys know that. This is Moose on the Loose, bringing you Canada's breaking news. Today, we've got Pierre Poilievre announcing a real tax cut. Mark Carney making a fool of himself again because he opened his mouth again, caught lying again. We've also got Mark Carney not participating in the French debate. It was recently just exposed Mike Myers got paid a lot of money to do that ad with Mark Carney. 2 Americans pretending to be Canadians, among some other stuff. Let's jump into this. First up, we got this one from Blacklock's reporter. It says feds will use obscure law to keep government lights on after failing to pass any new budget bills in 4 months. That's right. So they have to use this obscure law to keep the lights on because there's no money bill passed. A little used law to run prisons, pay the army, keep passenger trains running during election campaigns as the budget expires next week. Next up, I just want to show you an example of election interference. We got this video here. You can see it's filmed on someone's screen in their home.
Will show it's a tight race between the two parties back at the beginning of the year.
And then you can see here, the January 1st, the PPC projected with 52 seats, which obviously is not the case. The PPC will not be getting any seats. And it goes on to show here 84 seats. If you scroll back, as the numbers are fading, you can see that 84. See how it's already floating there? Somebody's just trying to fade this in. You know, if they wanted to do a better job, they should have animated this with the speed of the actual thing coming up to try to hide it. It's a sloppy job of trying to convince people to vote PPC. PPC is not a real party. There's no leadership review. There's no way to replace Maxime Bernier. And he only shows up once every 4 years to slander Pierre Poilievre. And then he goes back into his den and collects $104,000 a year. I don't know why people support this party. It's not a real party. And this is not a real video. Next up, we got these absolute buffoons here. What is this? This elbows up thing just makes all these people look so stupid. All of your elbows up in the picture are humiliating. I hope you look back with great embarrassment. Exactly. This is just awful. What's also awful is this. Barbara Ball coming out strong here. Should note an update. Look at this. So she's the one running against Mark Carney in Nepean. Well, look at this. 38,000 followers. She only had 2,000 yesterday. There's been this huge push. Now Mark Carney's going to have a real race to try to win his seat there. But look at this. Alleged synagogue attacker hit with rare charge of advocating that G word there, but released on bail anyways. Of course, in Carney's Canada, where these crooks get out on bail because there's no punishment. There's no punishment for all the money that the Liberals have stolen or all their inside connectors. There's no punishment for anything unless you're a Canadian doing a peaceful protest with bouncy castles. Then they'll lock down your bank accounts and trample you with horses. And with that, we've got stuff like this. Man arrested in 4 home invasions was out on probation at the time. Yet Liberal voters still want to vote more for this. Maybe they haven't been a victim of a home invasion yet. I should note yesterday too, I was robbed, but the idiot thief left something behind that I can track him with. I'll do a video on that once I figure out exactly who this guy is and I can press charges. This is breaking news in the last hour here. We've got federal leaders debate scheduled for April 16th and 17th in Montreal. So the 16th will be the French debate. 17th will be the English debate. Mark Carney, as the Liberals have just confirmed, Carney won't participate in TVA debate. Liberals confirmed the TVA is the French debate. Mark Carney will not debate in French. This should be against the rules. I mean, the Prime Minister needs to be debating in both languages. They can't just not show up for debates. It's ridiculous. He's a sitting Prime Minister after all. Really, anyone who wants to be leader of this country should be mandatory to go to both debates. I'm not French. I don't speak French, but I just think it's ridiculous. So it goes on to say here for the French debate, TVA, comes at a cost of $75,000 each to offset the cost of $300,000 to produce it. Bloc Québécois and Conservative Party both said they'll participate. The NDP confirmed Monday they will join, but the party added that it believes the pay-to-debate model sets a bad precedent. And at Poilievre's Brampton event on Monday, he said Mark Carney should debate him on the stage of the TVA debate. I think if he thinks that the Liberals should have a 4th term after the lost Liberal decade, he should say yes, Poilievre said in French. During his own press conference, Mark Carney said why not when asked about it, but now the Liberals have confirmed that Mark Carney will not participate in the French debate, which you can only imagine will be pissing off the French community and won't be good for his numbers. That sends a strong message that his French is so bad that it's better for him to not show up than to actually show up and try to debate. He was asked about this during this press conference. I don't know what this says because I'm not French, but I'll play it for you guys. For any of you who do speak French.
Bonjour, Monsieur Carney, c'est Fanny Olivier de Radio-Canada. Le chef conservateur Pierre Poilievre vous met au défi de participer au face-à-face de TVA. Est-ce que vous allez le faire?
Pourquoi pas?
Pourquoi pas?
Oui, pourquoi pas, oui, oui. Il y aura des débats entre les chefs
et tous les chefs, parce que si c'est TVA, c'est... ouais, pour tous les débats, il faut avoir tous les chefs, alors M. Blanchet, puis M. Singh, Mme May, y compris M. Poilievre et moi-même, ouais.
So I only know a few words there. Chef as leader, whatever. That gesture had something to do with Pierre Poilievre. Like, I'm scared of him. I'm assuming he was asked about debating there in French, and he said, why not? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm not sure if that why not, sure, I'll debate came from this press conference or another one. But as we saw here from CBC, Carney won't participate in TVA debate. Liberals confirm he won't participate in the French debate. This is a slap in the face to French-speaking Quebec voters and will hurt him in the ridings in Quebec outside of Montreal and Gatineau. Liberals will lose Quebec. What an insult. If there are many more of these sort of contradictions where Carney says one thing and his colleagues say something else, people will begin to wonder if he's really the leader. That's the weird thing. Carney says one thing, sure, I'll debate him, why not? But then liberals come out and say, no, he's not going to do it. It's almost like the WF are in charge. There must be outrage on this. If their internal polling actually said they were winning, he would not be dropping out. This looks like a try to hold the Fortress Toronto gambit. Libs are always trying to placate to the masses. He's going to get smoked in the English debate. He will. He would have got smoked in both of them. His French is brutal for a debate. Today we have Mark Carney coming out and just making more of a fool of himself by opening his mouth, as Cat Canada says here. Toronto Star asks Carney to square the math on his tax cut and the carbon tax rebate cancellation. Carney looks visibly irritated that he's getting a gotcha question from a media that's supposed to be singing his praises.
During the Liberal leadership race, you said that your middle-class tax cut would offset the loss of carbon rebates. The cut you offered is up to $825. The rebates were as high as $1,800 for a family in Alberta. I'm just wondering how you square that math.
We do square the math. We have squared the math. A couple of things. One is...
Before we go on, I mentioned this the other day. Anytime Mark Carney has a lie that he doesn't want to tell, the finger comes across his face or he's scratching back here. He just did both of them. If he has information that might not be a lie, but information he doesn't want to tell, he gets a little flex on his mouth there. So just look again, right at the start.
$125. The rebates were as high as $1,800 for a family in Alberta. I'm just wondering how you square that math.
We do square the math. We have squared the math. A couple of things. One is you look at where the rebate is today. You net the. Well, I'm going to look at the camera because you moved behind it, but I can't look you in the eye. But you square it with the carbon price, carbon tax, so-called, that people are no longer paying, because the rebate is obviously a gross amount. You have to net off the carbon tax that's being paid. So you have our tax cut today versus that rebate and the net of the carbon tax that has gone away. Plus, we have added the rebate, an extra quarter of the rebate that goes directly to people without the carbon tax. So for median income, a family of earning $50,000, they come out ahead.
He is just terrible at speaking. He should stick to math. Just keep an eye out for his body language when he does this. Instinctively, when we lie, we're lying about something, we want to cover our mouth so the lie doesn't come out. It's just a way to try to hold it in. It's subconscious. We don't know we're doing it. People aren't trained to untrain those motions, don't know about it. Obviously, Mark Carney is not one of these guys, Mr. Banker. It just really shows a big difference, because Justin Trudeau was a polished politician. I'm sure he had lessons from when he was a kid on how to hide all his tells.
Today I'm announcing that Canada First Conservatives will cut income taxes by 15% for the average worker, or $2,000 for the average couple. This is a tax cut for seniors who are drawing their pension or retirement income. They will pay, on average, 15% less. This is a tax cut for the workers behind me, who will pay 15% less on their income tax. This is a tax cut for the waitress, for the welder, for the barber. This is a tax cut for everybody who has ever got up early in the morning and worked hard to build our country. This is a tax cut that will put Canada first. We will do it by reducing the lowest bracket from 15 to 12.75, which is a 2.25% percentage point reduction, and that works out to a 15 percentage reduction in the overall tax bill of everyone earning up to $57,000. That said, because we are cutting the lowest bracket, every single Canadian who pays income tax will pay less. Modest income people will pay less in relative terms and as a share of their overall income.
So to compare this apples to apples, Polyev cutting this from 15 to 12.75, and Mark Carney saying he's going to reduce it 1. So it's a difference between 2.25 and 1%, or 15% reduction for Pierre Polyev versus a 6.6% reduction of Mark Carney. Polyev's tax cut works out to be at $1,200 per year, about $100 a month. Carney's tax cut is about $550 a year, about $50 a month. This interesting video here, you can see Pierre Polyev at a factory with his family. You see Mark Carney going around shaking people's hands. A lot of these workers, like there was one story on the pleb was showing that where the worker refused to shake Mark Carney's hand and he said he wouldn't shake his hand. Yeah, it's this one right here. So this worker here, he posted, "I'm the guy in the black hard hat. I didn't want to be there. I vowed to not shake his hand. I told the organizers that I wouldn't." It says a lot. Workers don't even want to shake his hand. I mean, Canada is such a bad state. Canadian workers, taxpayers just get treated like garbage in this country. Meanwhile, we have stuff like this, Death to Canada. This is what the Liberals have brought into our country. Meanwhile, we've got elbows up Mark Carney supporters here. They're all 70 to 90 years old. I bet some of them won't even make it until Election Day. We got Mark Nixon posting this clip here. It says, Mark Carney has admitted Trump wants nothing to do with him.
Put us in a strong position. See, this is a fundamental mistake that the Americans are making. They think they will weaken us. They think that they can own us, quite frankly. That's what they think. We are going to get stronger. We are going to wait this out. They're going to come to the table, and we're going to negotiate a good deal for the Canadians. Thank you, Steve.
Sir, did you say that President Trump is waiting to talk to the Prime Minister of whoever wins this election?
Well, that's an interpretation, but I think it's a reasonable interpretation. I'm available for a call, but, we're going to talk on our terms as a sovereign country, not as what he pretends we are, and on a comprehensive deal.
Wait this out, huh? I don't think that's going to go over too well. America's economy is 10 times ours. They can wait this out all day long. We will completely crumble. Mark Carney is absolutely terrified of Donald Trump. That's what this clip has showed us. This just shows weak leadership. He's too scared to make a call and try to make a deal. When really, if he did that, he would have a big leg up going into the election. People behind him are cringing. He is a disaster. So next up, we have this side story really blowing up here where we've got Barbara Ball running in the same riding as Mark Carney here in Nepean. We've got people comparing them now. So we've got Barbara Ball, actually from Nepean, served in our military, ran a business in her actual community, involved in local volunteer work. Mark Carney, not from Nepean, cares more about his friends in New York, booted the elected Liberal MP so he could run there. Chandra Arya, this goes further. We got Barbara Ball sharing this video now, the one I showed on the channel a few days ago. And look at this, 141,000 views. So she's blowing up content now on her channel. And to learn a little bit more about her, check this out. We got Pierre Polyev talking about her at a rally.
Also want to acknowledge Barbara Ball. She's our common sense conservative candidate in Nepean. Nepean, a great place to be in. And we have the best candidate. She started off in the artillery. In what year? 1992. And then she went on to the police force. So I'm saying boots, not suits. It's not just the trades, but it's also the police and the troops that wear the boots. And she knows how to pick up 100-pound artillery shells. So she's strong enough to be a representative, probably stronger than anyone else in the House of Commons, and we can't wait till she gets elected to fight for the people in this community.
Stark difference there from Mark Carney. Guy probably hasn't been to Nepean in decades. Shows up and wants to be the guy representing the region. We got a bit of a suspicious update here. So the guy who originally broke this story here, Protecting Canada, his name is Poisonous Ingredients on TikTok about 3.5 weeks ago. I just want to share something else he came up with. So if we take a look at Protecting Canada here, so this was the original federal corporation. They've now re-registered this as of September 2024 in Ontario, but these were the original people, and 3 of these people have changed, but Ian Wayne has stayed in the company, in the corporation. So if we go on the Wayback Machine here, and we go back to the original website, so the Protecting Canada website used to go to this website here, which is worsttimeotoole.ca, which you can see here on the Wayback Machine. We can load it up. This is what this website used to look like. This was obviously attacking Aaron O'Toole back at the time. If we take a look here on the YouTube link, it takes a long time to load, but it pops up with this website. So now if we take a look today what this website looks like, this is what it looks like. It's got 49 subscribers, and most notably, look at this video here. This is the featured video. Well, if we look back here, what is this? So this is on the Wayback Machine. This is back from February 9th, 2021. What is all this Russian mumbo jumbo? Now, we've had the Conservatives being accused of Russian interference so many times, and we've got all this Russian mumbo jumbo on this Worst Time O'Toole Protecting Canada website. Remember, these are Liberal NDP supporters, staffers, members who created this website, both the former one and the new one. Even though, there's 3 people that have been switched. They're all NDP Liberals. Now, you might be wondering, what is this Russian video? It's this one right here. So this is what it looks like today. It's still online. It's just a guy lifting. But it's weird you just have some Russian YouTube video here. We can click on the guy's channel. It's all just Russian stuff, right? You can see not a word of English here. But why is there a Russian video on this here? Whoever is in control of this YouTube channel, I know exactly what happened. Someone who's been on YouTube here for a decade. You can set this video here to be whatever you want. This is your feature video, and you can set 2 different videos, one for new subscribers or one for reoccurring subscribers, or you can choose to not have this here at all. Whoever set this video accidentally clicked on some other video. So whoever's in control of this account, whether it's another channel or just something that they're regularly watching. So this likely tells us that who's in control of this is a Russian, speaks Russian, and is highly tied into the Russian community. Speculation at this point, but the hypocrisy here does seem very rich. Let's just take a quick look here at Protecting Canada, their ad spending. So right now, this is what it looks like. So we take a look full screen here. You can see active ads, none. So they've stopped their active spending. But if we remove that, basically all of their ad spend, which we can see here, March 20th, March 21st, 21st. So they've just stopped spending ads just recently, just 2 or 3 days ago. If we look through this here, these are all the different ad sets. You can see 9 ads here, 9 ads. If we click on here, you can see the summary and you can see the spend here. So $600, $100. These are really nothing. This one here, $3,000. If we go into one of these bigger ones like this one here, 26, and you start scrolling down, then you start seeing bigger numbers like $2,500, $1,500, $2,000, $10,000, $7,000, $15,000, $40,000, $3,000. They have spent a buttload of money slandering Pierre Poilievre on this garbage not-for-profit corporation. As of right now, they are no longer running ads. Next up, we got another Mike Myers video here. This is just awful. If you look at the full screen here, you can see all fully set up. And as I made fun of it, they look like they pinned up this Canadian flag and set this up, brought in the lighting. Now, before I play this, let's just take a look at this. So Mike Myers here was paid, you can see here, $53,000 for acting services to come do this. And while we watch this, just think about this. Mike Myers hasn't lived in Canada for a long time. Same thing with Mark Carney. Yeah, but now they're both patriotic Canadians.
It's bullies. This is what I can't stand in the world. And we're the country that stands up to bullies.
Yeah.
And I hope, and I know that you will, but I hope we continue to be the good guys.
What does Canada mean to you? Like, how does it?
Canada means everything. I wouldn't be anything without Canada. The Canadian taxpayers subsidized our housing, gave me a fantastic high school. They had a television studio.
You get that education.
Yeah.
You get that perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, your talent.
These guys are ridiculous. Mark Carney went on to Harvard. He's Harvard educated, America. Mike Myers has a video of him saying how much he loves America.
But you get the opportunity to express that talent. I mean, you are talented.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's very kind. No, I got to.
I think you're gonna do big things.
I hope so. Thank you. That's very nice. No, but I worked at the CBC. In fact, I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it.
Do you think we should get rid of the CBC?
No,
there's a guy who says we should just get rid of the CBC. Okay,
that guy's wrong.
Pierre Poilievre doesn't say to get rid of the CBC. That's a lie. He says defund the CBC and let them earn their own keep. Do it on their own without $1.44 billion of taxpayer money. This is another lie by Carney.
No.
But this thing about still being Canadian and always being Canadian, and it's about values. It's about an attitude. You know, the attachment to this country that gave you these opportunities, gave me tremendous opportunities.
You know, he mentions values and he loves to pause on that word. With good reason, that's what he named his book. The book that says that Western society is morally rotten. That's Mark Carney's words. Morally rotten. Do you think he's forgotten about his net zero agenda? I don't think so.
It's obvious.
Going anywhere in the world and people find out you're Canadian, you're the good guy.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to get those elbows up.
Yeah.
But only for as long as it is necessary, and then you go back.
I've always said that nobody should confuse Canadians' kindness with weakness.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's why I want to endorse you, by the way, because I think you're fantastic, and I think you're going to do great things. And
Does he know anything about him? He's there for $53,000. Mike Myers is a sellout.
you're going to protect Canada. And I think you're, well, it sounds like damning with faint praise, but I think you're reasonable. And I think the world needs more grown-ups. We need more adults, dude.
More adults? You guys just had Justin Trudeau as your leader. He's the polar opposite of an adult. He's a man-child who's been destroying our country for 9 years. And now we need adults? They seem to glaze over stuff like this. So I'm not going to play this lady's full video. I'll just give you the quick breakdown. So she has to get scanned for brain tumor. Her doctor told her to get a scan in December of last year, so 4 months ago. And she just got her appointment. Her appointment is in March of 2026. So she has to wait a year and a half to get a scan for a brain tumor. She might be dead by the time she gets the scan. So for all the Liberal supporters saying our healthcare is so great, it is not. It has been destroyed by the Liberals. Well, this is going as planned. Every single day Mark Carney opens his mouth, he lies and just humiliates himself. He just stumbles over his words and makes himself look like a fool. So really, over the next 36 days, with the election coming on April 28th, Mark Carney is just going to self-destruct, essentially. Poilievre just needs to keep stepping on the gas and just push. Keep pushing for this new vision of Canada. The support is just rallying big time now. You see it. I saw another video of the rally yesterday, and it was even longer than the video I showed. There was another one. The guy went from the inside, and there was lines zigzagging inside. It turned out to be around 2,500 people that showed up. I believe that was in North York. Just an absolutely outrageous crowd where Mark Carney had 200 or 300 people max. I'm going to keep cranking the videos here. 2 videos a day. I've been doing videos every single day. I haven't missed a day since January 4th, 2024, except for 3 days that YouTube censored me. But I highly recommend everyone check out Sam Cooper's book, Willful Blindness. I should have been promoting this more earlier on. You can check it out with a link in the description. The foreign interference in our country has been rampant, and everyone needs to know about that stuff. With a quick glimpse of what we've seen so far, I can only imagine that the Liberals are looking around for another celebrity or multiple celebrity endorsements, considering the older generation is their base. Finding those celebrities is probably the angle they're going to go, as they've done with Mike Myers. It's not going to work.